One of the major themes I'm hearing recently in the last 12 to 24 months is that product life cycles are reducing. And I think some of that's led by consumer demand. I think that some of it's led by the pace of technology advancements. But what it's definitely leading to is shortened development times. And Kevin and Rudy, I think both of you alluded to that during your introductions, that over your 30-year careers, you're seeing these lead times being compressed within engineering. And I'm reminded of a conversation I had with a VP of engineering in the automotive space a few weeks back. And one of the things he said to me was when he started his career about 20 years ago, the time to develop an automobile was somewhere in the 6-7 year range. And if he fast forwarded to 5 years ago, that was cut down to a 4-year development process. And what he's seeing today in the marketplace, with the disruption of EVs and different sorts of companies that have entered the space, is he's pushing his team to develop automobiles within 24 months. So a really dramatic shift from 6 years to 4 years to 24 months. And what that's forcing organizations to do is think and work differently. I'm seeing a lot of engineering organizations and enterprises as a whole really think about how they're being proactive in their behavior, right? What sort of early insights can they get before they move to even the prototype phase about weight or manufacturability or cost even on, is this product worth pursuing? Is it not worth pursuing? And knowing very early on. The other thing that I'm seeing is this is forcing organizations to think about how they're collaborating and the tools that they're using to collaborate, both internally and externally. When I think about internally, I'm reminded of when I started my career in the aerospace engineering segment of the term just throwing it over the wall, right? We would take our design, we'd throw it over the wall to sourcing, and they would do what they need to. And when we think about cutting product development processes in half or by a third, 2/3, excuse me, the idea of throwing it over the wall can't exist anymore. And we've got to have a really tightly integrated engineering, sourcing, quality organization. And when I think externally, we've also got to focus on how we're interacting with our customers and our suppliers, right? It is truly one integrated supply chain that your organizations play a role in. And how we're interfacing with those customers and suppliers. The chart I have on the screen here is based on some work done by the consulting firm Kearney on some of the shifts that they've seen through the engineering process over time, right? Starting with the traditional approach, the waterfall resource focused engineers. And then I'm sure you guys through your careers, you've seen some of these buzzwords as well, right? Lean engineering, agile engineering, the idea of modular architecture, driving cycle time reductions. When we look at agile, looking at the customer value focus and open ecosystems. Where I really want to focus today's conversation is around the digital thread, right? And the move to digital research and development, where the customer and suppliers are part of that development process. There's no idea of gathering requirements, taking them from your customer, doing your design work, and then flowing them over to your suppliers. It really is a single integrated digital team with that system level integration, right? You're able to take advantage of that CAD model to do things that 20 years ago, perhaps you'd never thought of. And then layer on top of that, the AI and automation piece, and the design ecosystem looks a lot different than it did even a decade ago.